I want to welcome everyone to the first official episode of Do Better, Honey, Do Better 24/7 with Ed Brady. This is a safe space for us to be ourselves and talk about all things. On this episode, I am extremely blessed to have three people whose opinions I highly respect while we talk about blurring black lines. Michael Graham, otherwise known as G-Co, is a pro-black activist, advocate, and artist for black women. He can be found educating listening ears through his music and his TikTok page at Official G-Co. Crystal Crave is a mother, a professional multi-published model, actor, and entrepreneur. She can be found on various platforms, one being at Crystal Crave on TikTok. Miss Jada Lauren can also be found on TikTok at Bad Gal J. She is all about her lifestyle vlogs and activism. Like many future episodes, blurring black lines can be a sensitive topic. Where does being black begin? And what are the differences between being mixed and or light-skinned in the black community? And while this is my very first episode and I am not a professional editor, we're just going to run with it. It'll get better in time. The most important thing is the conversation. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.
Baby sleeping, so we'll try to hurry up because I get it.
It's okay.
So the first thing I guess like to be the segue into all the other conversation is what is considered black to you all?
That question I feel like is so open-ended because I feel like there's so many people that want to claim, want to be affiliated with, and want to be, So, I mean, coming from me, black is black. You know what I'm saying? It's not black isn't who you want to identify with. Black isn't like a costume for you to wear when it's convenient, when it's popular, when it's trendy. You know what I'm saying? Black is black. So I guess it depends on how you define it. For me, black is just black alone,
I know that a lot of the confusion, I wouldn't say confusion, but I guess arguments come in that black is solely your skin color. I hear that an awful lot on TikTok. Not even talking about mixed people, just being light skinned.
I'm gonna hand it over to Michael. What you think, Michael?
So when you just look at race is a social construct. So to be black is I have Afrocentric features, so I'm black. But also black is an experience too that you don't have a choice to partake in. So blackness is how I get perceived and how we get perceived by the world. Blackness is really dope, but at the same time, blackness is the main reason we get persecuted and we get stereotyped and they want to kill us out here. So blackness is not a cosplay, it's not a costume, it's an experience that does not stop. So that's what black is to me.
Mm-hmm. Great. Our answers were somewhat similar.
Oh, okay. Anthony's not gonna make it, Tasha just said.
Oh.
Well, tell him thank you for considering anyway. Okay.
Tell him, hey.
Look, Crystal said hey. Okay. What do you think, Jada? What is your input?
Yeah, everything that Michael just said, it's such a racial contract, and I feel like you don't have any choice. I can't go in my car and be like, oh yeah, I'm a white woman, they're gonna know from the color of my skin, from my features, from everything.
Absolutely. Yep. So let me ask y'all this. So this kind of will go into the segue of mixed and being light skinned. So do you think that, not even getting to the mixed topic yet, but someone who is light skinned is less black?
No, not at all. Because I can my best friend who is light skinned, she still experiences every single experience that I have because she looks black. Her features are 100% black, And even if someone didn't have the Afrocentric look, I even feel like their family's experiences, how, if they're with their mom who may look black or their dad who may look black, they're going to have that same experience because they're going to take on those feelings.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What people have to realize is, irregardless of complexion, it definitely doesn't play a factor. Light skin privilege definitely is a thing. Colorism does not affect light-skinned women like us, but when it comes to complexion, if you're black, you're black. And these police officers that are shooting us and killing us in the streets, they don't care about my complexion being fair. Look at what just happened to Dante. They don't care about that. You still black. They don't care,
I don't know if you saw, there was a tweet. It was a white mother who basically said pretty much, I thought my child being half white would make him safe, but now I see he's not. When I see that thing pissed me off, like, what?
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that.
Like, I mean, I understand, and I tell people fully, like, for me, you know, I have a white mother, I have a black father. Where I live at, where I come from, I've always been black. That's what it is. But I also understand that when I leave these comforts, I've never been black. I mean, excuse me, I've never been white to white people, but they don't always know I'm half black. They think I'm something. You know what I mean? I'm something. But I also understand I mean, look at me, I benefit from a form of privilege. And I think that's where I see a lot of mixed people got mixed up at. Like, right. I can speak on my experiences with racism. I can speak on behalf or behind someone who is melanated, but I can't speak for them because our experiences are completely different.
Right.
You know, right. But I see on TikTok, like, people have even told light-skinned women, like, you don't understand, you're not dark-skinned, you don't understand. And I'm like,
all the time. I shock people, I think, with the responses that I give, because sometimes I feel like there's this thing people say about acting light skinned. And I think that sometimes they expect me to react a certain way. Like when people say that, you know, certain women shouldn't be the face of activism, I actually do agree where other people disagree. I don't feel like a light-skinned woman should be the face of activism. I think that the original brown-skinned, dark-skinned woman should be the face of it, because women like me have always been put on pedestals and we've always been glorified. Women who are favorable to me and have my complexion, I agree, shouldn't be the face of activism, because people need to see these dark-skinned women and darker women representing Black people, because they are the original, you know, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I don't know if you want me to say Michael or G-Co while we on here.
It's either one. You good.
I've been saying Michael.
Because I'm reading Michael, but like I just want to say G-Co. But what are your thoughts?
I don't think being light-skinned makes anybody less Black. I do agree that it does play a role in the experience of Black, because I think the Black experience is on a spectrum. I would definitely say that's for sure, because there's things that I, as like a brown-skinned, like dark-skinned male, am going to deal with in general, because when I'm dark-skinned, also I'm a male. So since my skin is darker, I'm already perceived to be more aggressive in general by other people and the police. And I'm a male, so I'm seen as like a threat anyway. I would definitely say, like, in regards to like people with like fair skin or like light skin being like the face of movements, like colorism has impacted the Black community in regards to activism for years, because Rosa Parks wasn't the first one to sit down to not get her seat on a bus. It was Claudette Colvin. The only reason they didn't want to, the NAACP didn't take care of Claudette Colvin was because she was a dark-skinned 15-year-old mother. Mm-hmm. But Rosa Parks was a light-skinned woman. So colorism has been put into our community, and we all know where it comes from, because it arises from slavery anyway. But yeah, I don't think a person who's light-skinned should be the face of the movement. That doesn't mean that they're not. That doesn't make them any less Black, but it also means you have to realize your position in the Black community in regards to certain issues and stuff too.
I'm so happy we agree, because I was worried that people would take offense to me saying that, you know, but I look up to Angela Davis. I love her so much, but she looks like me. I love Rosa Parks, but she looks like me. So those are the faces, and it shouldn't be, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with it, but we need to see darker women representing the Black movement and Black empowerment, and that's what we need, you know?
Absolutely. I get it. So do you think that, I'm sorry, Jada, what did you want to say?
That's so powerful that you think like that, all you guys think that way, because like normally when I'm in like Black spaces, you know, a lot of them don't think that way, you know, and like they don't ever hear kind of what I'm saying, because they're kind of like, I think they're like put up by a wall, like, oh, she's saying that I'm not Black enough, like, you know, like they're saying, yeah, I'm not Black enough, but like really it's like, no, it's just like you're seeing kind of all over. And I even have my little sister, like, come here, Papa, hi, who's light skinned. And, you know, best person in the world. And all right, you can get out. She didn't fall over, I promise. All around my house, there's nothing but like dark skin things, so that she can see that, you know, to be more protective of just darker skinned women, especially when she sees me or like my mom. So to hear that child say like think that way is like really great, because I teach her to think that way as well.
Absolutely. And I feel like for me, it's always been, I absolutely agree with that. Totally. And I think what I've noticed a level of sensitivity with mixed people is like, cause I'm very like everything. I know I got a white mama. I mean, I know that, but that's not, anyway, we'll get to that. But I also feel by making statements like that, like, you know, hey, Ebony, like, you can say this and the third, but you can't say this because really we need this. That doesn't mean I'm less black than what I am. You know what I mean? But I can't be the standard for anything. And I think white society has made mixed people or light-skinned people the standard for everything. Beauty,
Yes.
the mouthpiece. And that's where all the confusion within the black community comes from. You know?
Right.
So I get that. Okay, so let's move on. So going into like the white passing and having someone assume that you're mixed or a light-skinned person is mixed. Why do you think that is?
The light colored eyes, my hair texture, I guess, you know, my complexion. I think that society is just brainwashed into thinking that lighter is whiter and whiter is better. She's pretty because, you know, she has these things, and she can't be, you know, a full black woman. That's not possible because she's pretty. She's pretty. Look at her eyes. Look at her hair. You know, and it's people that really don't get me. I feel like sometimes are like black women like me, like, which is why I said in the post that you brought up where someone assumed that I was mulatto. They assumed that I was half white. It's really offensive to women like me because there's nothing more than that I love than being black. And I never want to take away from colorism and the things that darker women endure and go through. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want to be discredited either. It's still offensive to me because I love us. My light fell. Because I love us so much. And it's just so I'm so proud. You know what I'm saying? So it's just real offensive. And because I love my dark skinned sisters, that isn't a compliment to me. You know, when people bring up me being white passing and they think that because of the way I look, it isn't a compliment to me because you are glorifying me for parts of me that you assume aren't black. And that's offensive to my dark skinned sisters and my dark skinned brothers. It's offensive to me. I don't know how to deal with it, you know? So like, I'm learning right now. I'm learning with y'all right now. What do I say? How do I deal with it? I don't like it. I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know.
I get it. Do you think, and Michael, let me ask you first, do you think that there's a different like stigma or perception of light-skinned men?
Definitely, there is for sure. Because it's like with light-skinned men, I would say just with light-skinned men and women, there's definitely a fetish. There's a fetish to have the product of a light-skinned babies, like light-skinned children or like mixed children and stuff like that. It's definitely a fetish, for sure. Because I've noticed with like the fetish around light-skinned men is like the loose curls and like the light-colored eyes. But then it's like it depends because like some light-skinned men aren't all the way light-skinned. Like they're kind of like a little, I don't know how to describe it. Like they're not like really, really light-skinned. But then like around women, they're like, oh, I want her to have the loosest curl. I want her to have like the loosest curl pattern. I want her to have green eyes and blue eyes and like all this other stuff. It's like, it's real fetishizing moment because it's like, are you actually attracted to her? Or are you just like fetishizing the appearance?
See, my issue with that is that comes from people who don't understand how fucking genetics work.
Yeah.
Just because you end up with, or like I have a strong disgust for people, like you said, like who fetishize having like biracial babies or mixed kids. I think that's weird. Because you can have one that looks like me, or you can have one that doesn't even look like they have white in them at all. Like, so I don't understand, like, what are they trying to accomplish? And that goes into what you were saying. Like, do they even really like that person they're with? Or they just want this like show?
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel, these same type of like mentalities go into the whole you could be brown skin or dark skin, but talk a certain way, or have grown up in a certain place, and you're not black enough.
That's very true. That's very true.
I thought Jada was saying.
I actually have a cousin who went to school with a predominantly white, just predominantly white students her whole life. She's dated white guys because that's all she's been around, and we act very, very different. She feels as though she's not able to relate because she's just so accustomed to being around a certain group of people, and she says that people consider her to be whitewashed. And I'm not gonna lie, there was times where I was around there and I was like, girl, but I guess, what do you consider to be whitewashed is the question. When people ask you that, what makes someone whitewashed, I feel like people will say, oh, well, you talk white. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Is it somebody being black and well-spoken automatically means to be whitewashed? Do you talk white? Or no, maybe she's just smart, or maybe she's just well-spoken. Maybe she's just educated. Why is it whitewashed means being preppy, being well-spoken, being that doesn't associate. We can't associate that with black people now because black people aren't smart. Black people don't talk. Well, you do that, you're whitewashed, no.
What do you think, Jada?
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely my whole entire experience, dating white guys, just because it was all my space. Now in college and I ventured out, of course, not really what I do anymore, but yeah, definitely that. Like I said, I made a post, and today, of course, all Twitter was attacking me because of the fact that they said we were just unlikable. When in reality, everybody can be unlikable. It doesn't have to.
Who said they were unlikable?
Basically, suburban girls were just unlikable. Was the whole Twitter's and I think it hit 300,000 views now on Twitter. Not from me, but from another person took my post and posted it on Twitter, and someone tagged me and it was like, "Is that you?" And I was like, "Oh, damn it, yeah, that's me." But yeah, they've just been attacking all day because they think that we are what she said is whitewashed.
Oh, sorry, that's crazy.
Yeah, very much so. Again, this takes me back to why is there any perception from anyone that talking educated isn't black? I think that we often history has proven why people say that. It's because the perception was always that black people weren't smart. So you have people when they say that, in a sense, it's adopting to that same white supremacy ideology.
Right.
So with that being said, do you think that you can be pro-black if you have a white spouse or a white significant other or being mixed?
Definitely.
And what is pro-black to you? Let's start there.
Pro-black would be if I'm in a interracial relationship and respecting the fact that one, I am black, and one, your significant other should be pro-black as with you, because I definitely have met people that have had spouses that kind of are that are racist. Mm-hmm. So you won't be pro-black if you're dating someone that's not pro-black. But anyway, the whole point was, just someone who is an activist, speaking up on issues, not only just talking about it, but being about it. Donating from fundraising for your community or whatever community that you see is in need. Mm-hmm. All that is all pro-black.
So you think you can still accomplish that by being with someone who is not black?
I do, yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Michael? Well, hold on. Let me let you go last.
Okay.
Because I know this is, I'm waiting to hear his, but you go first, Crystal.
First of all, I want to say that interracial relationships are very beautiful and can be a very beautiful thing when it is authentic. I do believe that you can be pro-black and date outside your race. However, I feel like there is an error at times when people date outside the race because they don't take the time to make sure that their partner is educated, well-informed, aware, ready, and willing to not only throw BLM around like it's decoration, but mean it. And when they say it with their chest. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's very, very touchy, you know, while being in an interracial relationship and wanting to be an activist and speak up for Black people and fight for Black people. People already, they're going to look at you like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just society, you know? So I guess it just depends on how you go about it. It depends on your spouse. I define being pro-Black as being unapologetically Black, being unapologetic about it, being proud of it. You know what I'm saying? Putting actions behind what you do. If you are in an interracial relationship, your partner is standing down, 10 toes down with you, fighting with you. You know what I'm saying? You can want to be as pro-Black as possible and be in an interracial relationship, but then go home to someone acting as if they are just nonchalant about our issues and they don't care. I feel like that's the problem. The only problem I would see in it. So it isn't necessarily a problem in dating outside your race and wanting to be an activist and be pro-Black. It's just make sure that they're aware. Make sure that they're with you for the right reasons and they're fighting with you. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, but
Yeah.
I want Michael to say something because I want to see if he's going to touch on something I think he is, which I'm pretty sure he is. So
I'm scared of Michael. Go, Michael.
I have a feeling, and if you say it, I'm gonna be like, that's what I was talking about. But go ahead.
You don't need to be scared. But so I'm pro-Black. I love Black women. I find beauty. I find love. I find compassion. I find power in my race. So therefore, me being pro-Black, I don't believe you can be pro-Black and date outside your race, because being Black is something that you can bond over. And dating out, I think it's like, I don't knock anybody for dating outside their race, but one thing I don't condone is dating outside your race, but then degrading your own race, which is one thing that I see a lot, which is why when it comes to whenever I see like Black men dating white women, I'm going to look at what you say a lot closer, because Black men will consciously go out of their way to degrade Black women whenever they're with a white woman. And if you just look at the history behind that, like in general, where it's like the main stereotype since slavery has been that Black men have an insatisfiable lust for white women. Like, I'm not gonna fall into that stereotype. I may find like certain white women beautiful, but I find love in my own race. So therefore, as an activist and as somebody who's an advocate for Black women, like unapologetically, you're not gonna catch me with nobody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I knew that's where we're gonna go.
I ain't mad at that.
I mean, I get it. I just have heard so often, like, that, like, I personally think like Jada and Crystal, obviously, but I also feel like I myself find myself looking at people who are in interracial relationships sideways, because I feel like some stuff is suspect to me, like, because I see that too. I often see the disrespect of Black women by these same Black men because they're dating white women.
Yes.
And how can you be pro-Black anything when you came from a Black woman?
It's
So
crazy.
I don't-
Okay.
It's like it's like a trouble for them, because like I don't know like if y'all like know like about North Carolina, but basketball is really big in North Carolina because we have like the main big D1 schools. We have UNC and we got Duke. So UNC Chapel Hill, which is like the main D1 basketball school that everybody talks about in North Carolina, they have a Black coach. They just got a Black coach. This Black coach, I know his son is biracial. This Black coach said, I know that I'm the first Black coach and blah, 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 but I want to say that I'm proud of my white wife. And that was the first thing he said, like when he
All that.
what?
the first thing he said, like in his press conference. So it's like there's a stigma around a lot of interracial relationships where it's kind of like, hey, I got one or I secured one. And that's the thing with me. Whenever I look at people in interracial relationships, I'm always going to look at you like under a magnifying glass, because there's certain things that your significant other can empathize with, but things that they cannot experience. So therefore, if I'm with a Black woman, and I'll say a Black woman not in America, because the experiences of Black women are different inside and outside of America as well, because especially like in South Africa, where there's certain things that that don't make up the Black experience in America, but the Black experience like worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we can bond over the fact that we're both gonna get looked at differently because we're Black, that's something I can it can be understood, as opposed to dating somebody else who happens to be a person of color or a minority, because there's levels to this shit. Like, pardon my language, in regards to how minorities get looked at, because it's gonna be different if I date an Asian woman. It's gonna be different. She can't understand what I'm going through as a Black man in my skin, or if I'm dating somebody who happens to be like Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, even if I date like an Afro-Latina, because I'm an Afro-Latino, I'm still Black at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, they don't see any of that other stuff. So it's like,
what are your thoughts for like a person being mixed and being pro-Black? Do you think that same ideology still apply?
of course, because the thing is like, you choose to get into an interrelational relationship. You don't choose to come out mixed or Black. So the thing is, my homie Conrad, he's pro-Black. He's very light-skinned.
Very
Yes.
much. Yeah.
But that's my homie. So he's very much like pro-Black, loves Black women. He just happened to come out mixed,
Okay.
but he's still Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still a Black male. So he still has that experience too.
So let me, do y'all know who he is, Conrad?
I personally don't.
All right, so I happened upon him on that one post where the other mixed girl was salty that they were talking about mixed kids who have white parents being different and all this shit, which there is a difference, but anyway. So that's how I came across him. So here's my thought to kind of go off what you're saying. So I think that he and I are met with different resistance, because in all actuality, if you did not know that he had a white parent, you would think he is light skinned. But me, I mean, I think it's visibly, I'm not all Black. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I think there's like a difference in the perception of, even when it comes just to light skinned men or light skinned women, I think light skinned women have it a little harder than light skinned men, because Dante Wright, as an example, honestly, he was Black until someone specified in an article he was mixed. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that was just, I just wanted to say that because I like him, Conrad, a lot.
I recently got into like a debate with a woman, and my video almost hit 1 million views before it got taken down, where I tried to explain to her. She was basically going back and forth with other Black women saying how, because she had a Black child, it isn't Black people's business what these Black kids go through. It's everybody's business. And my argument was, being a Black woman, I relate to your Black child in ways that you could never. And that's not me being harsh. It's not me being mean. It's me being 100% real with you. So when Black women are speaking about Black people, when Black women are speaking about the troubles our Black children go through and what these Black boys are going to grow up to endure, there are things that we relate to, things that in ways we can explain it to them because we see it through our eyes. And through yours, you couldn't relate. You couldn't understand. There's no way that you can chime in on certain things or try to tell us what isn't our business, because it isn't your place, regardless of you having a Black child. Right. But they didn't like that at all. Like, that ticked people off. It made them mad.
You tell white people anything that they can and cannot do, they have a problem. So,
they hate me.
Especially because they don't feel that like enraged until something happens, or they see something where it's like, okay, this mixed guy just got shot. Oh wait, that could be my mixed child. So now let me feel enraged because that could be me. That could be my feeling. Like, they don't get that until they lay down with a Black person and then they have this mixed child.
all right.
Can we talk about that too? Like, it frustrates me how they fetishize. They don't like when I say our men, but Black men are our kings. They're our men. So I say that and I don't care. So they fetishize our men because of their giant private parts. Okay, I'm gonna go there. They fetishize our men because of their giant private parts, and they want babies that look like me and you, Eb, right? But when it comes to Black Lives Matter movement, police brutality, and colorism, they don't have to say. They're quiet. They're uninterested. They have nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so annoying to me.
I feel like I don't think parents interracial relationships that, you know, produce mixed kids, make it a priority to understand that you have to treat your kid and raise your kid differently.
Yes.
They're going to encounter these things that you as a white person will not. And I will be honest with you, I think a lot of white men get that. I think it's the white women who don't get that in a lot of cases. Like, they don't understand. Like, prime example, that tweet. Why did you think your kid was safe? Because you're white. That's why you thought your kid was safe. That's not how life works.
Because you're a white woman, you have the privilege of thinking that the police are there to protect you.
Thank you.
Crazy.
Thank you. Oh, Tanita.
Crazy, crazy.
Okay, so, well, we just knocked a lot of stuff off just now. Okay, hold on.
Good talk, y'all.
I honestly, I love conversations
Wait,
like
can I ask you a question?
me.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So like, I know if I was mixed, I know I would probably I would not date white. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's like a reason for that. It's because I'd be scared that one, me being mixed and now him being white, now that child is racially probably going to be white. Like, yeah. And so, like, what would you say about that? Like, what would you?
So, all right. Again, I'm gonna go back to, I have always identified as Black. There's never been a moment where I did not. While recognizing that I am half white, you know, my brother, who is darker than me, married a white woman and has 2 white children. Just wasn't my thing. I've always been Black, so that's where my connection is. He carried himself a little bit differently. He definitely was more white than I was.
Whitewashed.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Like, I love him to death, but very much so. Very much. You also got to keep in mind too, I'm 42. My brother's 8 years younger than me. So we also grew up in 2 very different times. When I was younger, you could be friends. White and Black kids could be friends in school, but won't nobody going over nobody's house. You know, I clearly was too Black to have white friends for most of the time. So he grew up in a time where everybody's friends. Everybody's friends now. They all friends. They stay in each other's houses and, you know, like all that fun stuff. I didn't grow up in that time. But yeah, like, I've never not been Black. Therefore, I'm all pro Black love. My children's father is Black. They are Black kids. Like, you know what it is? That's just, it's never been me. Honestly, I've never dated a white man in my life.
Me too, Eb. Me too. Like, somebody, and it's crazy because I feel like TikTok and the internet is so sensitive. Like, when I, you know, say how amazing Black men are, and when I speak up for Black men and say that they are amazing fathers, and stop acting like they're criminals and gangsters, and people say, well, do you even have white friends, or would you even date a white guy? No, they take offense to it. But they don't like that.
But you know what's funny too? I find it, and it happened in my live earlier. I was talking about something. I don't even know what I was talking about, but automatically a white woman came in there and said, well, why do you hate white people? I never not once said I hate white people. Never not once in any video, in real life.
Same.
Did I say I hate white people? What I did say is I don't cater to white fragility, and I do not like racist bigots. Like, if you fall into one of those things, then that's, you are who I don't like. But I never said I don't like white people. I have a whole white mother. That would be ridiculous. Like, I love that lady, and she's white. I mean, I think when you talk about being so proud to be Black, or Black issues or anything, it's, why don't you like white people? Nobody was even talking about you in this moment. It's not.
I give them a short and sweet answer. Like, I tell people, if you ever come across somebody who is a non-POC, and they say, I don't like Crystal, or I don't like her videos, or she doing this and doing that, my videos make them uncomfortable because they're racist. That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
If they don't like me, it's because I make them uncomfortable because they're racist.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And you know what's funny? I want to say this too. So the reason I know about Jada, Jada made a video, and listen, I was like, wait a minute, no, she wrong. So I made a video, but then like we talk afterwards. Like, we literally, I said, can I inbox you? I inbox her, it was fine. Like, might agree to disagree, whatever it was. But it was basically, it was like
the
thing?
The white girl that thought she was Black. It was like a one drop thing.
Yeah. So Jada's thing, her thing was, and tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, because this will kind of like go into the one drop rule thing. I think it was that you said the one drop rule A is no longer applicable, which I agree. But it was.
Oh, it was the white. Okay, I remember now. Sorry.
All right,
It
no,
was
go ahead. Go ahead. Set it up. What was
the
it?
white passing. Like, I didn't think that she was white passing. And then the second video was supposed to be to her, but it was mostly like, it was going more to like kind of the mixed community, but really I was kind of relating it back to her.
And
But
she
yeah,
was very white passing. Very.
yeah,
Like
I don't
almost.
I
How'd
don't
you yeah, somebody black in there?
think white passing should be a thing anymore. And like how you said it, which I liked your view on it because I really had to think about it. I was like, that's true. You told me that you think that there should be a different term for it because my grandfather is white passing. And like he actually passed through segregation, went to an all white school with 2 black parents. So I just felt like that took away from his struggles, his like, and him actually passing through life as a white person. You know?
No, I get it. I think the passing part of the term itself is problematic, especially now. I tried to get in the habit of saying like white presenting or black presenting or something like that to make it a little more, but to kind of talk about like this one drop rule, because I've heard this a lot on TikTok too. I think that's ridiculous for people to still use this, but there's a lot of people, as you all can see on TikTok, who in real life, period, who do certain things, alter themselves, I don't know, talk certain ways, like intentionally, like, and claim a very small percentage of Black history, ancestry, to say that they're Black or to say that they're mixed. Now, my viewpoint, I'm going to speak on the mixed part and then like everybody else say something, but I find it myself offensive for you to tell me I'm mixed because my great grandfather's Black. No, bitch, you're not. You have Black history, like ancestry. You ain't Black. Like no parts of you look way whiter than me. So no, that's not how this works. So I know how offensive it is to the Black community. Like I don't know why it's a trend now. Like these same people don't say anything else about what's going on in the world with Black people, but want to be Black so bad.
Crazy.
Privilege. Yeah.
Because now white people are now becoming more aware that they are kind of like, I don't want to call them evil monsters, but they are like the root of all evil when it comes to this race divide. Like I feel like that's why they're like, oh wait, I'm not technically white, like got a little bit of this, and like they're trying to connect where they're not supposed to be connected, and that's at.
I think it's weird. I think it's like mental illness, honestly. Like this whole transracial thing that's coming about. That's weird as shit.
Honestly, y'all would be surprised how stupid. I don't want to say that because I don't want to be ignorant. You would be surprised people's train of thought. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever really paid attention to some of my content, but I know you have, Ebony. But people believe that giving birth to a Black baby makes them Black. People believe that they are Black by injection. People believe sleeping with a Black man means that it is okay for them to use racial slurs. I'm not racist. My baby daddy Black. I'm Black. I gave birth to a Black child. Like, they believe this, y'all. I can't make this up.
Mental
They
illness.
believe this.
Yeah, that's a heavy side of privilege because as a Black person, every interaction or friendship or any involvement I have with a white person, that white person does not have to think or they use my Blackness as they're going to use my Blackness as something to be like, well, I can't be this because I've had a Black friend from this and this and this. And I'm just like, nah. Like the privilege is picking and choosing parts of the Black experience that you want to apply to yourself, because if people would actually realize
Our
like,
bodies.
right, the reason we look these certain ways and the reason like we dress a certain way, we talk a certain way, we didn't want to do this. We didn't want to be in America in the first place. Like we got snatched up and dropped over there. So it's like you want, like they literally saying like y'all want our rhythm but not our blues. Like that's the most true
That
statement.
part.
It was like no.
Michael, you be going to church.
Be chilling. For real.
So what do you think about kind of to piggyback? So how does it make you feel for, okay, like someone like me to just identify as Black or say that they're Black? How does that affect y'all?
It's you. You know,
Like,
you're
not
a bad
problematic.
example, Ebony. Like,
I
So it's-
I would kind of like disagree if you were like whitewashed, like I've definitely ran across some mixed people because like those were majority of my friends that were just super whitewashed, where then I'm just like, all right, you're not really black, like, you know. But because like you said you had a white mom, I would never believe that. If I would have just looked at you, like I would have been like, oh yeah, she got a black mom. Like I see all that.
You know what's funny about that though? That's why I like that video that Conrad did about that girl. Now they were going hard in the comments about mixed kids with white moms. I found that shit funny because that won't my white mama, so I wasn't offended. But her response was, I think, and I do understand this because, you know, I went through a time in my life where it was like, damn, like I'm not accepted anywhere type shit. But I think in her head, when people say things like that, I think some mixed people take it as negating their blackness. I'm sorry, nobody can take that from me. So I'm not offended because there's a clear difference between mixed kids who are raised with, not all the time, obviously, a white mother and a black mother. It's completely different. They want my mama, so I want offended.
Well, I feel like you are a walking, breathing example of being black is more than hairstyles, more than complexion, more than facial features. You know, it's culture. It's your train of thought, the way you think, how you live, how you carry yourself. You are the prime example of that. Had you had not told me you were half white, the way you carry yourself, the way you act, I looked at you and I saw a black woman. That's just me. You know, I saw a black woman, and I'll look at other women who are similar to you and the way they carry themselves, the way they act, the way they, you know, that isn't black to me, you know?
Because you have people like the half black conservative girl and the beta girl and it disgusts me because it's like literally this is why, and this is how I feel. I'm like this. So I've had a lot of black people say you're not black. Okay. My question is, why am I not? Because I do understand when it's spoken from a place of society has made people like me the standard for black people.
Yeah.
We've blurred the lines of where black begins. So I get that and I respect that. It does not change who I am or what I am, but that I can respect that. I can understand that. But you know, some people, like somebody the other day was calling me a mutt and a creature and an abomination and shit. Like, I don't even care about that shit. But I also feel like when, oh my God, they're terrible on TikTok. But I also feel like when it comes to light-skinned people too, they lump light-skinned people in with mixed people, and some of them are treated the same way. Like you're taking away blackness from fully black people because of how you feel about mixed people, just because they're at the front of the line of where black might start. And I think that's disgusting, but.
I never try to be argumentative with darker women because I never want to take away from what they endure, because I know it isn't, what I go through isn't half as harsh. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely still endure things. Like people forget that colorism and racism are two different things. You know, colorism does not affect me. Yes, racism definitely has. I've been called the N-word. I've posted videos of it, monkeys. I've been racially profiled in Home Depot. I don't know how they think I'm a smuggle a chandelier. I was in the chandelier department. I don't know how they thought that I was going to smuggle a chandelier in my pocket and walk out the door, but they looked at me and instantly wanted to follow me and thought that I was trying to steal because I put on a hoodie when I came in the store. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. We go through it too, you know, like definitely.
I think I feel like, I don't know. And it's, I talk about this shit all the time. Everyone's like, that's all you ever talk about. Cause this is my life. This is what I know. Constantly having to, you know, you're white. You can't be pro-black. First of all, I didn't choose this. This is just, that's how I am. I mean, am I proud to be white? No. But do I love my white mother? Absolutely. You know, I think there's like a difference. You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you say you're mixed, it's, oh, you don't want to claim you're black. Or you say you're black, but you're not claiming your white side. Like, fuck y'all. Like, I mean, what y'all want me to do? So, I mean, I'm used to it, but I
feel like your mom did a good job, because I feel like that's the problem. Like these white parents that raising black children, they don't do a good job, and it shows. With you, I don't have to meet her to not know that she didn't do a good job. So I love you, mom.
She made it very Now, don't get me wrong. There's some stuff she could not teach me. There's some stuff she was like, I still check her sometimes on implicit biases that she has, but she's always open. Like I say, white people shit a lot around her. And sometimes she'll get offended. And I'm like, well, do you do that? And she's like, no, why are you getting offended, Mom? Because she does have that, you know, but she was very adamant on, you know, you are half black. The world is more than likely going to see. Like I said, I've never, ever been fully white to a white person, ever.
Yeah.
They might not have always seen me as black, but they saw me as something that was not white. So yeah, she did good on that, except I don't know where my brother went wrong with the white wife, but that's okay. You know, she's nice. I like her a lot. I like her a lot. And I love my, oh my God, y'all are dumb. I love my, my nephews, but anyway, okay. So let's see. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about or bring up? Cause I know in case your baby wakes up, nothing.
You're gonna wake up any minute too. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. I was seeing if anybody had any questions because they were just, I mean, chatting in here, but I didn't get to catch them all. Hold on.
Well, I love talking to y'all.
I know. So this is, I do these quite often about different things, but I had never posted them to my YouTube or anything because I suck at editing. But now I've got someone that's kind of going to help me. It's not going to be great, but I mean, the majority is just having y'all speak and say things. But I wanted to start like around, I don't know if you know Dom. I feel like I think Jada, you know who Dom is. She's mixed. She's got fro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked her to come on, but she couldn't make it. She also will be doing a thing on her own too that I'll be on. But I like to do these about different topics and things like that because there's so many things that need to be talked about that don't get talked about because of everything else that's going on, you know, and a lot of things like fly past people. Like, damn, I never thought about why you think like that, or I didn't think, you know what I mean? So it's all right. Hold on. Yeah. So they don't have any questions, but I appreciate y'all.
You're welcome.
I do. Thank y'all. Oh wait. Oh, okay. So they do got questions. Y'all got a couple minutes?
Yeah. Wait,
Right.
one second.
Okay. Hold on. Let her check on the baby.
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Brandon, shut up. Okay. So how do you feel? Okay. So V's question is, how do you feel that white passing mixed people should stand up for our community, meaning Black community?
By utilizing their privilege. That's the best thing they can do.
Period.
Because
Yeah.
their voices are valued more than ours anyway. So therefore, if you want to be useful to the community, use your privilege.
I feel like the caveat to that though is when we do, we often get judged as if we're trying to talk over.
Yeah.
That's why you got to amplify. You got to put other people in those positions. So amplifying is a way you utilize your privilege.
Like how I said, women who look like me should not be the face of activism. I love me. I know I look good, but I shouldn't be the face of activism.
I get it. All right. So the next question was, did you guys see that little mixed girl that the teacher cut her hair?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh.
So somebody said, how do you guys feel about that?
That's a hate crime. You're gonna cut a young black.
Hands would have been thrown.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes.
That's a trigger to me. I went to a private school and a teacher tried to cut off my braids. That's a trigger. Wow. And my mom had to go up there and curse her out. No.
But I feel like would she have done that to a little white kid?
Cut off.
No, probably not. No.
There was no reason for her to put hands on that child in the first place. Don't put your hands on somebody.
And she's not offering an explanation. Y'all know that, right? She's not giving no explanation as to why she did that.
The whole hate crime, as far as I'm concerned.
Wait, did she cut off like her how she cut it off? Like
She cut off her whole head and
It's like
left
this-
one.
It's super short.
but why? what was the purpose?
She hadn't said.
Like
But really, is there ever a purpose to do that without contacting the parent first? Like,
Yeah.
no, actually no, because even if my child had gum in her hair or something, like bring her to me.
all right, so somebody else has another question. I'm gonna get them to elaborate on it, but they want to know, are you saying like white people and black people? Is that what you're saying? So they said, how do you guys think that we can unite when we've all become so divided? Specify who you're talking about.
Y'all ain't gonna like my answer, so I'm gonna need them to do
I know,
something.
so
They don't like mine either.
All right, so hold on. I want them to specify just so you can still answer it, but I want to make sure. Black people. I guess he's saying within the Black community.
Oh,
And then we
that's
can touch on the other, the mixing of them.
well, if it's Black, like that's a family issue. You know what I'm saying? Like overall, like that's a family issue because it's a lot of hurt in the community. There's a lot of trauma that we just haven't addressed. One thing I'd say in this generation is we're definitely addressing trauma a lot more, and it's gonna ruffle some feathers and get people uncomfortable. But I feel like that's slowly bringing the Black community together because we're not just trauma bonding, but we're also healing from that trauma at the same time. Not everybody is, but a lot of people are making that choice to heal from it by addressing the stuff that's going on in the Black community.
Absolutely. So, do y'all agree with that as well?
I agree, 100%. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think in relation to white society and Black society?
I don't need that. What they gonna do for me?
We definitely don't need it. We don't need like white saviors. We don't need things like that. But I guess I will say learning how to take accountability and learning how to allow a white person to be held accountable without you putting your name on it or giving it your address. Learning how to be comfortable with that would be a good start. But at the same time, we don't need white saviors. We don't need.
So now that, all right, so let me bring this up then. So do you think that, so I just for a real quick second, I want to talk about white allies.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you guys talk, but what are your thoughts just in general, white allies, and what the state of some of the white allies y'all have seen on TikTok or in real life thus far?
I consider the Jewel Gang, my followers, the people. I rarely fix my lips to call somebody a white ally because I do not trust. For the most part, I definitely don't. When I consider somebody to be a white ally, for example, one of my followers has donated over $10,000 into helping a Black child that I posted get justice. I consider that person to be a white ally. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on the action they put behind it, but you'll rarely see me using it. You'll rarely see me calling somebody a white ally. I'll say, "Oh, you're a nice white person, thanks." You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like the word ally to me, like it's always had like a weird taste in my mouth, like white ally. Like I don't know. Like so, I'm happy that you actually said that because that validated what I was thinking. Like white ally, it just sounds weird.
it do.
It does, and I also feel like if you're an ally, you don't have to state that you are.
Correct.
People know that you are by your actions, your behavior, things like that. But what I've noticed on TikTok, and I keep bringing up TikTok because that's where we're like all,
Affiliated.
right. So there's been quite a few I've unfollowed because they seem like these great people. They were mutuals with people I'm mutuals with. They have donated boots on the ground, and then they say some dumb shit, and I'm like, what? No. What? Like, I feel like, and somebody just said it, it's easy for them to overstep because they get so comfortable. And I'm like, no.
Look at Joe Biden. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Like, Nancy
Her
Pelosi.
speech?
Like, come on now. Joe Biden literally said, if you don't vote for me, you're not Black. It's because they get too comfortable. So
Comfortable.
there's no such thing as a white ally if you're still benefiting from the patriarchy that's oppressing you. If you can choose to stop participating in anything, if you can choose to stop supporting me, you were never my ally in the first place. And the fact that you have to be called an ally shows that you know that there is a division.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, does this mean that like most people think that like every white person is racist or has some type of racism inside of it? Because I personally think that, which is why I don't use that word.
Of course, there's inherent racial bias in all.
I was about to say that.
Naturally, they're taught that from birth.
Absolutely. I feel that we have allies that don't even recognize, they don't know what their implicit biases are because they're implicit, but they don't even acknowledge that they might have some.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing to say, like, if we are an ally to like the LGBTQIA plus community. I did not always know everything. I still don't. I'm learning. But I also know that I may say something that's not appropriate or respectful. And I'm okay with being called out on it. But a lot of the white allies I've seen is you call them out and they jump in defensive. Why the fuck you getting mad?
Yes.
Like, why the fuck you mad?
Yes.
Like, gotta be open to learn, because like that's definitely one thing I can say is like I've become a better ally like to the LGBTQ community, because like I have family that's in the LGBTQ community, I have friends that's in that community, like, and it also like it's that breaking of cognitive dissonance, because a lot of people don't want to do that, because like, so cognitive dissonance is pretty much like when you grow up and you learn things a certain way, you're gonna have a hard time shaking those patterns and shaking those reactions and stuff. So like for me, like growing up, like especially like in a like Christian household, or like just around, not even my household, because my household is very accepting. Growing up around Christians, like who use their religion or their belief system as a means of discriminating and condemning against other people, that stuff was consistent. But my family never took part in that. But it's when you're around people who represent your religion and stuff, that's like the heaviest part. So then like as I grew, like becoming conscious and connected with my roots and my spirituality, like just accepting people like for who they are and not judging people, because we're not put here to do that in the first place. So like, of course, when I was like 15 and 16, like I had to break my cognitive dissonance. And the thing is, a lot of people don't want to get uncomfortable either. That's why a lot of these allies get like they get like irritated when they get caught out on the BS, because it's like, no, your performative shit doesn't work here, because this is still my life at the end of the day. Like, this is not meant to make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like over time, like my cognitive dissonance broke and I had to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, a lot of allies don't want to do that. Like they kind of just want to be like, well, I'm one of the good ones. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no.
And I also feel that comes from a place of assuming. So we were talking about earlier too, like saying that you're proud to be Black and saying that you have white pride are two different things. I think that type of mentality is like, why do y'all get to be proud to be Black, but I can't be proud to be white? Goes into those same things. I'm not recognizing these biases. And I think they think racists are only top tier, you know, KKK, Nazis and stuff. But an implicit bias would be like, oh, can I feel your hair? That's not racist, bitch. Why do you need to feel her hair? Or the guy who said something to you last night.
Yes, y'all at the bar. Like, you so pretty. You got pretty eyes. Your hair is nice. So who's right? Is it your mom or your dad?
That's a form of racism.
Are you serious?
I think that I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say it because I'm recording, so I'll wait. But y'all got any more questions? Not to mention, don't make me feel bad for your guilt. Exactly. He says a lot of people want to make Black people feel bad because of the guilt they feel.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Or the whole, I mean, I wasn't around during slavery.
Yeah, but you still benefiting from it.
Right. Nobody's blaming you for slavery, but you're
You still
benefiting
benefit from it.
Absolutely. Anybody got any other questions before we hop off?
And ending on that note, I would love to hear all of y'all's input. So again, leave all comments and questions below. And the editing will get better just for future reference. But until next time, do better, honey, do better 24/7. And